I'm recording this message so I get these thoughts out of my head and into the physical realm so I can let them go. There's a lot of energy. Part of this message is for my dad. So maybe you can relate to 33. Feeling at odds with your family members or having to set healthy boundaries to make sure that you're okay physically, emotionally, mentally. 55. Financially. I don't know if I said that one. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. I wish that I could talk to you. Dad, I wish I could talk to you about things that were bothering me. But anytime I have, ever since I was little, all the way up till the present, you gaslit me. You pretended it wasn't happening. You didn't want to address it. But you tell me that I can talk to you about emotional things or things that are bothering me. But when I do, 222, I get gaslit. So I can't trust you to be emotionally safe for me because you've shown me that I can't trust you. And so if I can't trust you emotionally, that means I can't trust you with my heart. And if I can't trust you with my heart, how am I supposed to love and be loved safely? The answer is I can't. And I understand where that comes from. Maybe not fully, but some. So that's how you were raised. 3, 4, 5. You were raised that way, and they were raised that way, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to play. I don't want to play pretend anymore. I don't want to play a game. I don't want to have to compete in the family. I don't want to be put on a pedestal. I don't want to gossip about other family members. I don't want to be in codependent relationships at all. And I shouldn't have to dim my light. I shouldn't have to apologize, 444, for being who I am. I shouldn't have to apologize for being nice. I shouldn't have my kindness constantly questioned. You would think that you would know my character after so many years. I feel like I know you better than you know me. And when I talk about me, I can tell you're not listening. You just want to hear yourself talk. And if I don't ever say anything or contribute anything about myself, then it's not noticed. It's not asked about. It's not cared. Or if it is asked about and the information is given, it's a brief moment, and then it's completely misunderstood and misconstrued and lied upon. And what is that word? Not magnified, but like exaggerated. But then I realized that all is a projection, because that's how you act. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. You can say to somebody that you love them, Hold on, I'm trying to turn this off. You can say, yeah, exactly, turn it off. You can say that you love somebody all day, every day, twice on Sunday, but if they're stabbing you in the side constantly with a knife, eventually you start to realize that what they say and what they do and what they feel and what they think are all completely different things, and that person is out of alignment. And no wonder then their inner world is so chaotic, because when things are not in an aligned place, they're everywhere. So of course it's going to be chaotic. Of course it's not going to make any sense. 7:37. So I had to leave. So I had to go. And I know that it's the holidays. And trust me when I say, even though I know you don't, but I don't care, I didn't want to cut off my family. Like, that was like, to me, the equivalent of like your hand gets stuck in a mountain and you gotta cut it off in order for you to walk away. It's your family, it's your blood. They've known you longer than anybody. They thought about you even before you were born in some cases. They're so familiar. Even the toxicity is just so familiar. So for me to do that, for me to be willing to be on my own as a lone wolf, especially during the holiday season, I don't care what anybody says, but that's no small feat. I'm the one, I keep myself healthy, I pay my bills, I take care of me, right? And I have to make sure I keep myself happy and fulfilled and all of these things. And I've really had to learn how to pour into myself first. So all the energy that I used to put toward my family members, I'm now putting it toward me. 10-10. And that's created a lot more balance in my life. So that way, if I decide, I want to go hang out with a friend, or I want to go do something, I'm with that person because I mean it and I care about them. So I want to foster honest connections. People that support themselves, but then are also wanting to be around other people and support each other and create a community. A sense of interdependence. 1102. I can't go back. 1123. I just can't. Maybe in the future, but I don't know when that would be. It's not right now. But I just feel so strongly that I have to go down this path. And I know when I look back, it always felt like you never really believed in me, and that I surprised you or something by being as good as I was. But then there's a feeling of always feeling like you wanted to minimize my accomplishments, and so I learned to minimize my accomplishments. I didn't know how to rest. I always thought everything was tied to performance and productivity. I thought I had to earn everything, including love. But even what I got, I realized wasn't really love, and that's all you've ever known, so you didn't know any better. But I was in so much pain, so I bettered myself, and then I learned to respect myself and develop my own confidence. And when I did that, then I was able to see all the pain in our family that nobody was willing to talk about. And rightly so, because I tried to talk about it and then I got shut down. Or just ignored. And, I understand, you don't even know how to deal with your own emotions. That's immediately apparent. So how in the world can you understand my emotions? You can't. So even though I love my family, I just came to this understanding that 1414, that they're just not capable to love me in the way that the next cycle of my life is calling me to love myself. And when I'm willing to love myself in that way, in that honest, true, deep, unconditional way, 1444, that I will not accept anything less from anybody else. And I'm sorry if they don't have the skills to love me, but that's not my problem. And I stayed in the relationship as long as I did because I thought that I could lead by example and that it would teach them. Like, I thought I could teach them how to love me. I thought that, like, I could set boundaries. But then I realized that, like, boundaries are not accepted, or, like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. And I realized that there's a deep undercurrent, probably well buried deep within your subconscious. It says you don't want to change, and so you're not willing to look at your shadows. You want me to look at your shadows for you, but those are not my responsibility. They never were. I carried way more than I needed to. I held your emotional safety in my loving hands, but you were not able to return the favor, ever. I never felt emotionally safe, and there were times I didn't feel physically safe. And then that affected my relationships. And so I really did have to learn how to parent myself, 1707. But then when you dive in deep and you learn to parent yourself, and then it's like you go on the hero's journey, right? You start off on your quest. I'm going to learn what healthy is. You go out on your quest and you find out all these different perspectives from all these different people. You gather the wisdom, you apply it in your own life. You start only nourishing the relationships that can meet you there. And in that unconditional loving place of just like holding somebody in your hand, free as a bird, that they could fly out at any time. But while they're in your hand, you just love them just how they are, 1818. And then if they should fly away, you realize that they needed to because they're a bird. And so you realize that was the loving thing to do, even though it's the painful thing. But you're willing to do it because you just love them so much. You love them so much that you would honor their need for freedom to take care of themselves. Yeah, so when you parent yourself and then you go out on this journey and you gather that wisdom and you apply it to your relationships. And then you start looking at your family. You start noticing things that they say. You start noticing how they say them. You start noticing the look in their eyes. You start to see the patterns and the repeated behavior, and that it's always been the same. It's just that in this familial dynamic, it's like the attention and focus shifts to one person in the family that's like not doing well, or that's closest to you, and they get the brunt of your unregulated emotional and lack of emotional intelligence, projections, fear, obligation, guilt, gaslighting, control, victim mentality, emotional outbursts. And so you see that you've now become your own parent, and you walk back in your own house, and then you look at all these people and you're like, I don't want to be here. 2 1 2 3. I don't want to be here. This makes me feel sick. This makes me feel ill. My body hurts when I'm here. Yeah, so I had to go. Had to go. And that sucks. But as much as it sucks, I had to do it. And it's really allowed me to like unpack a lot of things that I've held inside for a very long time. I'm relearning how to have joy without somebody coming in behind me and trying to squash it. I don't have to deal with somebody that is so charming and so chatty and so loving toward other people, but inside the house, inside closed doors, not feeling valued. And then feeling like something's wrong with you because you just witnessed your dad just being so friendly and nice with everybody else, and everybody, you know, is waitress and what have you. Think he must just be the greatest dad. And I understand, like, no parent is perfect. I don't ever expect him to be perfect. Well, maybe at one time when I was a teenager. But, you know, like, since becoming an adult, I embrace those qualities, but I have to draw the line where it starts to interfere with my own confidence. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, it's literally like, would you puff a cigarette just to stay friends with somebody? And maybe that's really specific for somebody. I can't believe this is 24 minutes long. That's crazy. So, I'll leave it there, but I just had some things to say, especially coming up on the holiday season, and this is just going to feel different. But where there's a blank canvas, that only means, gives us something to work with, right? Now we can paint our own canvas. So I hope this helped. If it resonated, let me know. I don't think that we should have to feel alone when we're dealing with this stuff. And give it a like, share, subscribe, because somebody else might need to hear this message too. And if you found this of value, then I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for walking with me down the temple path today, friend. And just go out there, make it a better world. Have courage, be kind, and until our next adventure down the temple path, mwah, love ya.